Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I am joined by Secretary of Public Safety and Homeland Security Stanley Metter, Secretary of Transportation Nick Donahue, State Coordinator for Virginia Department of Emergency Management John Scrivani, Commissioner of VDOT Stephen Britch, Superintendent of Virginia State Police Jeffrey Katz, Brigadier General Todd Hubbard of the Virginia National Guard, and State Health Commissioner Dr. Cameron Webb. I want to begin by giving a couple updates on where we are in our preparation for what we are anticipating to be a catastrophic storm. There will be dangerous ice accumulation. We know that the impact of this storm will be tremendous. Significant snowfall, significant ice. And we are anticipating, because of the dangerously low temperatures, ongoing impacts of this storm will continue after the point in time when the snow or the ice has stopped falling. The sleet has stopped. We want everyone to be prepared for significant and extended power outages during and after the storm because of wind that we're anticipating, because of the ice, and again, the freezing temperatures. We expect that Virginia will experience power outages even after the snowfall has ended. I'm going to open it up to questions in a few moments, but I wanted to give a couple updates on the preparation that we're doing across the Commonwealth. The Virginia Department of Transportation has completed all of their pre-treating and will continue to do the hard work of ensuring that we are ready for this storm. They have begun 24-hour operations, which includes pre-positioning of vehicles and tree crews. And for those who are in housing subdivisions, we want to be very clear in setting expectations. Because the primary and first tier of effort will be to ensure the ability of people who may need to get to warming shelters or to emergency facilities. Those who live in housing subdivisions need to be aware that it may be 24 to 48 hours, or in some cases more, after the snow has stopped before their roads in their subdivisions will be clear. State police have begun operating under 24-hour shifts, and they are going about the state pulling disabled vehicles off the road, again for preparation to ensure that the clearing of the roads and the preparations of the roads are ready. The Virginia National Guard has continued with their deployments, particularly of high mobility vehicles, and they will be positioned ready to assist with debris removal from the roads or the movement of people. The Virginia Department of Health has done outreach to all of its health districts. The Office of Drinking Water is ensuring that across the state we are ready, stress testing facilities in some cases. Virginia Department of Health has been in contact with acute care and long-term care facilities and hospitals across the Commonwealth to ensure that they are ready and prepared. Here in the Commonwealth, the state is also coordinating with our energy providers to make sure that we are in constant communication to ensure the ability to react to downed power lines and provide assistance where and contend with power outages and track those carefully. And then importantly, as of last night, we have now received a federal emergency declaration. This was a request that I submitted to the federal government yesterday, and I want to thank members of our congressional delegation for their letters of support, recognizing the significant impacts that this storm will have on Virginia. And I want to thank Secretary Noem and President Trump for signing off on that declaration last night. We now have representatives from FEMA here on the ground, and with the category of federal declaration that we have, we are able to receive direct federal supplies where necessary for the purposes of health and safety of our fellow Virginians. So in ending, before we open it up to questions, I just want to remind everyone we are anticipating this storm beginning and hitting strongly later today. And so please use these final hours to be prepared, to make sure that you have blankets and warmth and food to make it through this storm. And every Virginian should stay off the road as of this evening, all day Sunday, and at least into the morning on Monday. We will be providing updates throughout the weekend so that people know the status of the circumstances and where there may be passable roads. But please, it is so vitally important, both for individual safety, but also for the ability of first responders to be able to help those in need, that we have everyone off the roads Saturday night, all day Sunday, and at least through Monday morning. And now I'll open it up to questions.
Governor Spanberger and other officials, thank you for being here. And love to know from you all, whoever care to speak about it, just what are some of the biggest mistakes Virginians would make in these situations, and how can they avoid them, stay safe, and keep each other safe?
On the preparation front, I might turn it over to John Scrivani of VDEM or potentially Dr. Webb of VDH. I'll defer to you, gentlemen.
I'll go first. Good afternoon. I'm John Scrivani. I'm state coordinator for VDEM. Biggest mistakes are not being prepared today. If you think this storm is not going to hit, you are probably wrong. I would hope you are right, but you are probably wrong. You need to prepare your family, your home, and also one of the worst things you could do at this point is get out on the road after this evening, as the governor mentioned. We need people to give VDOT the time to get those roads cleared, get the power companies the opportunity to get the power lines that fall on the road up. There's going to be a lot of different hazards out there. So we need people to, again, one, prepare, be ready, and I'm sure Dr. Webb will have additional comments. But two is really stay home. If you can, and we know that you may not have any power, you may be cold, work with your neighbors, and we're going to have to all work together to try and get through this. Dr. Webb?
Thanks so much. And certainly just to add a couple of things that are really important. Pay attention to the local advisories. This is a severe weather event that affects different parts of the state differently. And so being able to know what the impacts are going to be locally is going to be the key. And that's going to help you understand where the emergency resources and supports in your area are. The next piece is from a health standpoint, if you have prescription medications or medical devices that you need, have those pulled together and ready. Some medical devices require charging, so make sure those are prepared and ready to go. On that charging front, if you have healthcare needs, understand that the ability to reach loved ones and for loved ones to reach you is so critical. So keep those devices charged, have backup charging mechanisms, and that's going to help us keep folks safe. The next part is you don't want folks out on the road, but fueling vehicles is going to be important for you, and also fueling heating devices. Make sure you have a plan for safety if you have heating devices that need to be fueled. So that's your carbon monoxide monitors, your smoke detectors, but also basic safety like keeping it away from drapes or furniture, those sorts of things. And then the last thing I'd say is a personal preparedness plan, personal preparedness kit. So whether that's your medications, other things you would need if you need to leave the home quickly, things for your children, for your pets, things that are going to be necessary for you as you're leaving the home. Keep those together. Take it all seriously and understand we're going to continue to keep you updated and get you the resources you need, but make sure you prepare as much as you can on the front end. Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Governor. So how will you measure the success of your administration handling this weather event?
I would say that while I respect the press, I think when we're talking in terms of the safety of our fellow Virginians, this is about how we are keeping people safe, how we are keeping people informed. And I think that right now I am deeply grateful for the hard work of certainly the folks in this room. There are many, many more people in this room at this moment than just the folks behind me. The leadership of the folks behind me and the efforts to ensure that we are ready for this type of storm. You may have noticed through some of the press advisories that day by day it's been a severe weather storm, it's been a strong weather storm. Now we are in the place where we are characterizing and recognizing that this will be a devastating storm with major impacts across the Commonwealth. And so, my goal certainly in this storm and in responding to this crisis is that we're making sure that Virginians across the Commonwealth are hearing from the experts that know the work is being done on the ground to clear roads, to prepare, whether it's locally warming stations or whether it's ensuring coordination with hospitals and our health districts, and really being ready for the significant impact. But this will be a tough storm, and frankly, there is never success when there is this level. There is never a sort of a clear line of what constitutes success when there is just so much on the line. But our goal here is to protect people, to protect our fellow Virginians, and ultimately get through this storm as quickly as possible and get back to normal functioning, whether it's of the energy grid or of our road systems, as quickly as possible.
Governor Spanberger and other officials, I just would love to know from you all, on social media and sometimes on television, people talk about looking out for vulnerable populations, immunocompromised, elderly.
Yeah.
People who may suspect that something they're worried about their vulnerable neighbors. What advice would you all give to report that, just so everyone is good at the end of the day?
Yeah, well, on this one, I'll turn it over to some of my colleagues here, but importantly, recognizing that your neighbors may need additional supplies, whether it's portable chargers so they can keep their cell phones and that connectivity to loved ones or to first responders. Recognizing that friends and neighbors may not have been following the news, ensuring that people know just how severe this storm will be and how significant the impacts. This is a time for people to really make sure that everyone in their network and with either on their street, in their neighborhood, in their apartment complex, or on their social media feed, realize the severity of this storm. And then for some of the actual mechanics of it, I'll turn it over either to Dr. Webb or Director Scrivani.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that while we're helping to lead this response, we're also in this with you. We're experiencing this response right along with you. So in my family group chat, we're talking to each other about what preparations we've made, who has the things that they need, whether it's medications or tools or support. So that kind of check-in is critical right now in all of our communities. In terms of communities that are at some greater risk, I think it's important that people keep in mind this is a local response. We've sent data over to the local health districts to make sure they know who are some folks to look out for who require oxygen or have dialysis needs, so that we're keeping a close eye. But that connectivity really is going to be our friend as a Commonwealth. If we have really a unified approach to this, it's checking in on our neighbors, checking in on our friends and our family, and making sure that everybody has a plan on the front end. Much harder to address needs down the road. Better if we make that plan now and make sure we're ready to execute on it. And I think that we're all doing that with our families, and we just want to make sure that across the Commonwealth people are doing that as well.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.